January 13th, 2022. Halfcast 221, episode 221. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Prince Andrew gives up military titles as sexual abuse case proceeds. Dude, this is not like you lost your job at IBM or something. This is the crown. How do you lose the crown? Prince Andrew, the second son of Queen Elizabeth II, has relinquished his military titles and royal charities, Buckingham Palace said on Thursday, a stinging rebuke by the British royal family a day after a federal judge in New York allowed a sexual abuse case against him to go ahead. So you want to sow your royal oats? The palace said that Andrew, 61, will continue not to undertake any public duties and is defending this case as a private citizen. He has been accused by Virginia Giuffre of raping her when she was a teenager, a charge he denies. During a period in which he was friendly with the late financier and convicted sexual predator Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew had already been largely banished from public life, but he continued to hold a series of honorary military titles, which aroused protest from former members of those units, given the legal charges hanging over him. With impeachment, you could still write a book and find a way to tell your side of the story, maybe get a couple of interviews, but they said he was largely banished from public life. If you think you lonely now, Buckingham Palace also said Andrew, who is also known as the Duke of York, would also no longer use the style His Royal Highness in any official capacity. Just snatched all his stripes. That His Royal Highness one had to hurt the most. State and federal authorities announced Thursday that they arrested and charged more than 24 people for taking part in a multi-state shoplifting ring that made off with more than $10 million in stolen goods over the past few years, most of which was over-the-counter medications. Once again, we're dealing with stores that's easy pickings because they're known to be severely short-staffed at all times. Oh, doesn't she look like a sweetheart? She wouldn't steal anything from you. U.S. Attorney Clint Johnson in Tulsa and Oklahoma Attorney General John O'Connor announced state and federal charges against 29 defendants. Johnson said 25 of those charged had been arrested and 4 others were still at large. Prosecutors said the defendants took place in a conspiracy to steal mostly over-the-counter medications from retailers such as Walmart, Costco, Walgreens, CVS, and GNC in Arkansas, Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas. You know, the stores that every time you go in, they always look like there should be more people working, but there never is. Prosecutors allege that a 48-year-old Tulsa woman, Linda Ben, led the ring, which netted an estimated $4.5 million from the sale of stolen goods such as Flonase, Mucinex, Nexium, and Allegra to fencing organizations outside of Oklahoma and then sold the merchandise on e-commerce sites. They allege that Ben, whose name is listed in jail records as Linda Gann, would provide shoplifters with a detailed list of items to steal and pay for their expenses when they travel out of state. They operate better than the stores that they stealing from. She would also pay for the shoplifters' bond if they were arrested, prosecutors allege. All these chains go into each quarter or each year knowing that they're going to lose a certain amount of money due to theft or shrinkage. Nobody never stopped to think that it's only a matter of time before people realize that we're never fully staffed. $4.5 million worth of Mucinex later, you're wondering if you should have staffed those extra 2 guys instead of being cheap with the payroll. Headless torso found in freezer amid search for missing woman in New Orleans. What is it with people and body parts? The desperate search for a missing woman from New Orleans turned up a headless torso hidden in a freezer along with a flesh-covered saw. The gruesome discovery was made on property belonging to 35-year-old Benjamin Beal, according to the Times Picayune. I think I got that in the first try. While he has not been accused of murder, he was taken into custody Tuesday on a slew of charges, including one count of obstruction of justice in a death investigation, one count of dealing methamphetamine. There it is. Whenever it doesn't make sense and you have to have it make sense, just insert the word methamphetamine and three counts of creating and operating a clandestine drug lab. Officers at the time were combing through the Ninth Ward for any trace of Julia Dardar. She was last seen in November and officially reported missing by her estranged husband in December. He told authorities his wife had left him and moved in with Beal, prompting a search of the suspect's home. He looks like an upstanding citizen. According to an arrest affidavit obtained by WDSU, officers on the scene discovered dismembered remains hidden in a freezer aboard a small blue bus parked on a lot, as well as a machine powered saw, which appeared to still have flesh and fluids on it. Ugh. Other body parts were found nearby, wrapped in plastic. Bill has mostly refused to answer questions from law enforcement. He has so far only told them Dardar moved out of his home before Christmas, but that she left her car behind. The remains are not yet thawed enough for authorities to make an identification, according to court documents filed on Wednesday. A cause of death has not yet been revealed. Bill's neighbor, Tracy Pearson, expressed shock that such a discovery was made so nearby her own home. Yeah, like it's hard to spot a meth cooking operation coming right from your next door neighbor's crib while he fires up the circular saw on occasions. Get the hell out of here. I'm surprised the article doesn't say they were looking more into the husband. Usually, when these things happen, the first thing they do is look for the husband or a strange husband. Two Florida women hit with felony charges for pelting man with glitter. Glitter? Really? Do you know how hard it is to clean that stuff up? If you get glitter on your body, no matter how often you shower, days later, you're still like finding little like, what is this? What is this? A pair of Florida women were hit with felony charges after allegedly throwing containers of glitter at a man and covering his apartment during an argument. All over the apartment, you're going to have glitter. You're never going to get it all up. You're going to be finding glitter forever. Sarah Franks, 29, and Caitlin O'Donovan, 27, were arguing with Jacob Cologne at his home in Clearwater around 3 a.m. on Monday. Cologne was allegedly struck by the two women after the pair threw a container of glitter each at him. How do you have so much glitter on hand? What were they doing? How do y'all have so much glitter available? What would they have in a festive threesome? New Thelma and Louise. The relationship between the women and Cologne, as well as the reason for the argument, still remain unclear. Oh, here we go here. I want to see if they put glitter. What was the weapon that was used in the in the police in the police report? They put glitter in the police report. They get any evidence? It's just like more glitter. Now it's all over the evidence room. They got to take it to the lab. Now it's glitter all over the lab. According to the affidavit, the early morning attack began after the two women started arguing with Cologne, who had been standing on his fence balcony at the time. So he's on his property. During the argument, the girls both hurled containers of glitter at him, striking him in the upper head and torso. According to the arrest affidavit, I think they caught him off guard. Poor guy. Hanks then climbed over the ground level fence and made her way inside Cologne's apartment, where she allegedly continued to pelt him with more containers of glitter. How much glitter can you possibly? Is Hobby Lobby open that early in the morning for you to carry out such a vicious assault. She then unlocked the door for her buddy O'Donovan, Thelma, and Louise to let her in the apartment, and she also threw more containers at him. The arrest document states, wow. They were later arrested by local police after their getaway vehicle was traced back to their residence, what was followed a trail of glitter. Obviously, Officer Matt High with the Clearwater Police Department noted that the car was still warm to the touch and traces of glitter were also seen inside the vehicle. That's the problem with it. You can't get rid of it. You're never going to get rid of that type of evidence. Franks and Donovan were arrested on charges of felony burglary with assault or battery. Additionally, Franks was charged with misdemeanor criminal mischief for breaking Cologne's window. A judge has also ordered both women to have no future contact with Cologne. Imagine if they had glue to go along with that glitter. Whoa. Now that's a scary thought. Fun show. Fun show. Fun show. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Adios.